Okay, it's day 87, and now I've realised a lot in the last 24 hours. I've kind of oh shit, I've kind of yeah, I've had an awakening due to various different factors, and I'll get into the first one, which I owe a lot of credit to Evan, Evan Jacob. I'll link his Instagram below, or his channel. I'll link his Instagram. I think that's what you'd most like his traction to go to. But he's a very smart guy, same age as me. He's pursuing an agency doing paid ads. He's had a lot of progress in the past, but he's helped me out a lot in the last few days, and I owe a lot of credit to him. So shout out to him. His Instagram's below. But what I'll say, this is what I've kind of realized, and I need you to realize as well, is there's a lot of fluff around productivity, a lot of around social, just trying to get rich, get whatever. There's a lot of fluff around it, but it comes down to a few key principles, and that's where I kind of want to touch on now. And the way that my chair is so squeaky, the way that he kind of articulated it to me was, you need to do the things that make you money. It's as simple as that, right? And he stated it to which he went on a trip to understand this concept. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious. It's literally what I've just said. But there's so many things. People will come into SMMA or whatever it is that they're doing, the productivity thing that they're doing to make money, the thing they're pursuing, and they'll spend time making the website for a whole day. They'll be like, oh, I'm just going to spend a week trying to think of the name for my business. When in reality, it doesn't fucking make you money, bro. It doesn't correlate to anything. The things that make you money come in stages. It's like stage 1, stage 2 to stage 3. And stage 1 is outreach. You need people to know about your service. If no one knows about your service, no one's going to fucking buy your service. So you need to get it in front of as many people as possible. And the way to do that is you can either run paid ads if you've got a lot of capital to invest. You can run that through just outreach on your own terms. You just literally get a load of people that you just send DMs to, send emails to. But that's stage 1. Then you have to perfect your sale. So have a framework to which you kind of stick to when you go into the sales call, and you do that. And after that, you then have to work on fulfillment and perfect your fulfillment. Obviously, you need to have an understanding of fulfillment prior, but more important than anything is you need to get people to know about your product. Don't be a perfectionist and be like, oh, I need to sort this out with fulfillment first, and this, then this, and this, and this. Just fucking straight volume. And people will quit at the first hurdle, but it's all down to going into the things that make you money, right? There's so much fluff, as I say. People need morning routines. They'll wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and then they'll sit there, they'll go to the gym, they go to the sauna, then they meditate, then they journal, then they do like a half marathon, then they do all this shit, and they don't actually get down to work until like 4 fucking p.m. To which then they've then ran out of energy because they've spent the whole day doing their fucking morning routine, right? So I understand having a morning routine if you want to go to the gym before you start working. I understand that, that's fine. Or you want to have a shower, you want to have a... But really, my morning routine is this. I get out of bed, I have a shower. That's the first thing I do. After the shower, I make a coffee and I work. That's literally it. That is it. That is my morning routine, done and dusted. Now, I'm not the most productive person in the world, but so many people, there's so much fluff around how to be productive. Oh, I'm gonna get in my Zen mode and I'm gonna meditate and fucking do all this shit. And you just need to get to fucking work, bro, and do the things that make you money, right? And I mean, there was a comment on my video yesterday, someone on exactly the same wavelength as me, and he said this, and I was talking to Evan about this the night before. Oh fuck, I've got to go on the video. I was talking about this to Evan the night before. Sorry, you're gonna hear my voice twice now, unless this pauses, which it has, so we're okay. Yeah, there you go. Right, so this guy says, I can feel you, brother. Whenever I'm not working on something which is primarily going to make me money, I feel like I'm doing something wrong, even if it's like reading, meditation, learning languages. Now, this is exactly what me and Evan were talking about how you want to work on the things that inherently make you money, because everything else is just a load of fluff. It's not. I don't want to call it a waste of time, but you want to put the most productive, like all of your energy, because there's only a certain amount of energy you have during the day, right? As much as people beg to differ, you put all of the energy into that outreach. And as soon as you may feel burnt out, then, and only then, I feel like then you've earned the right to go and read, to do whatever. There's a few kind of ways around this, but you're not going to make money if you don't put your business in front of people. And that's where people fall at the first hurdle. They'll be like, oh, that reached to 50 people. I've got no responses. Oh, there's no point. This isn't going to work. And then they go back to their job, right? You need to put it in front of as many fucking people as possible. Like, I think the global average is like, correct me if I'm wrong, Evan, if you're watching this or whoever's watching this, but I think it's like you have to outreach to 150 people or 120 people or 100 people or whatever to get a call. I think it's 120, but to actually get a sales call, you have to outreach to 120 people. Now, it depends on the service you're selling and how in demand it is. But on the whole, the average is 120. So you have to outreach to 120 people before you get one sales call to which then you can close them. So it's hard, man. Of course it's hard. Of course it's fucking hard. Because if it wasn't hard, then everyone would do it. And if everyone did it, there would be no value to it. There would be no value to it to which no one would want to attain it because everyone has it, right? So that's why everyone wants a six-pack. Everyone wants money because not everyone has it, and that's what makes it special. So of course it's hard. And that then leads me on to the next... That is perfect. Leads me on to my next point. You need to do the things that are hard. If something that you find inherently hard when you're doing it is hard, like you find it like not enjoyable to do, it's hard, it's got resistance around it, that is the thing that you need to do. I watched a video last night, probably one of the best videos I've ever watched in terms of just eye-opening wise, and it is by a guy who, see, I think I don't want to name his name because I think my video gets flagged. By the way, I had a shout, excuse there. I say this every video, but I say it again just for the culture. But it was a video by a guy who has a Lamborghini and got put in prison recently. Whatever, no one cares. But it's an unreal fucking video, man. He was at a table with 3 other guys: Sterling Cooper, Justin Waller, and his brother. And I'll link it at the top of the description. Although it's obvious, if something is inherently hard for you to do, that is the thing that you need to be fucking doing. And I've said this before. The thing with the most resistance is the thing that's going to evolve. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's by Stephen Pressfield. Unreal quote. It's the same idea. If it's inherently hard, that's what you need to be doing. Whatever it is. And yeah, if it was easy, as I say, everyone would be doing it. But and people are going to be. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't like. I'm not going to say his name. There's a lot of people that don't like him. There's a lot of people that like him, and that's what makes him so popular, right? Because he's so polarizing. But that was his whole framework to get famous, right? He said the most like outrageous shit, to which some people agreed with him and some people didn't. And if you're sat here as a guy disagreeing with everything that he's fucking saying, I think you're either lazy or you're just a fucking like someone that, yeah, I hate to say it, but isn't going to get anywhere in their life, right? If you disagree with every fucking thing he says, that's not to say that I don't agree, that I agree with everything he says. That he hates on reading. He says reading is for geeks. Reading is one of the most productive things I've ever fucking come across in my life. And it's got me from here to here. Like, as long as you're reading the right books and they're not just mental masturbation books to feel better about yourself, the amount of value you can get from them is crazy. Like, I wouldn't be the man that I am right now, although I'm nowhere near the man that I want to be to any extent. The amount of shit you learn from books is crazy, and I think he hates on books purely because when you're reading books, you're not taking action. So it kind of tracks back to my last comment on things. But again, I understand why people don't like him, and I understand why people like him. And on the whole, I would be lying if I said I didn't like him. I do like him, of course. And I think most people, if you're watching this series, you like him, and he maybe almost motivated you to go and watch this series inherently because now you want to make money. So you watch videos like this. But I understand people that don't like him, and that was his exact marketing ploy to get him to where he is. Because if he's talking about shit that people agree with and people also disagree with to an incredible extent, like so polarizing that he's literally dividing the population, of course he's going to get talked about, and with that talk comes fame. And that was his whole plan to get to where he is now, and it's worked, of course. So I understand why people don't like him, especially girls. I understand that, I completely understand that. But he resonates with guys so much because the way that guys kind of their framework of thinking is so different to regards that we want to provide, right? And he taps into that emotion so well with us that we like him. A lot of us like him because we want to do the best we can. We want to be respected as guys. We want that inherently, that is what we want. We want to be respected, right? So of course we're gonna like him. Most of us like him. Of course there's the odd guy that doesn't like him, and let's not get in talks with that. But on the whole, there's a reason why we like him, because he taps into the emotion that we have as a guy to provide for kids, our wife, or whatever. That we want to be a better man. We want to be respected by our families, by people that we meet, by everyone. We want to be respected, and he kind of tells you how to get that, right? Or at least taps into that. Whereas for women, it's a completely different like framework. He doesn't. I understand why people don't like him. There's a lot of clips of him saying shit that, of course, he says because it's so polarizing and it creates havoc, and that's why he's so famous. But I completely understand why a lot of women don't like him. It's okay. But for guys, it's like, if you're a guy and you disagree with everything he says, I just don't think I just don't know where your head's at. I don't understand your. But let's not get political, right? Let's not get political. I mean, of course, this thing you're gonna disagree with a lot of things that he says. Like, I understand people that disagree with a lot of things. I understand people that disagree with not many things, because he's very people that he's tapping into are very impressionable, right? So they're going to agree with things regardless, because Andrew Tate is rich. I'm going to agree with this and this and this and this and this and this. So you've got to kind of have your own backbone in that regard. So a lot of younger kids kind of are going to come under that. But in all honesty, I think that he's had such an incredible impact on the world and the youth in a positive light, and he's been a net positive, undoubtedly a net positive, as much as people like to think that he hasn't. But of course he's got some stigma around him, and I understand why. And I'm not saying that I'm the biggest Andrew Tate fan in the world, but I just do think he has a net positive on people, and I understand his whole marketing ploy to get him to the fame that he has. And yeah, with that said, that was basically just marketing the video that I'm going to link at the top of the description. Please check out the video that I linked, because I mean, yeah, I think a lot of you could get a lot of value from that. It basically just taps into the fact that you need to do the hard things, and if something is hard, if you can just force yourself to do that, that's where you're going to become a better man. Simple as that, really. If there's something that you don't want to do, you should just do it. Most of the time. Of course, if it's a waste of time, there's no point fucking doing it, right? But most of the time, it's going to be productive, and that's why it's hard. That's why you don't want to do it. So you need to just do it. And I'm saying that with my own difficulties as well, because I need to do the same thing. But I'm working on it. I think I've become me as a person have improved so much since the first video that I've made in this series. Of course, I mean, I've been recording these videos every day. I feel like I'm much more concise with my points now than I was back when I started the video. So I've improved at talking. That's one positive I've gained. I mean, that's up for disagreement. People can be like, nah, this guy fucking waffles, which I wouldn't disagree with. I do waffle a lot in these videos, but when I want to be concise, I'm a lot better at doing so. So, yeah, my hair's gone all just dry, and now it's getting a bit. I guess. But yeah, go and check out the video at the top of the description. And yeah, there was a study that came out the other day that I saw Andrew Huberman talking about. And he was talking about with David Goggins, and it's basically the David Goggins part of the brain, right? And the more you do something that's hard, like the things that you don't inherently want to do, whether that be go for a run, and you really don't want to go for a run, or go to the gym because you really don't want to go to the gym. It's not. It's not. You go to the gym every day and you maybe don't want to go to the gym. You'd rather do something else. That doesn't correlate to it. But the things that you don't want to do, like really don't want to fucking do, like go for a run or get out of bed when you first wake up. If you do those things, there's this part of the brain that grows, and you get better at doing those things. And that's why David Goggins is the person that he is, because he's trained his brain and he's always just been like, fuck it, I'm doing the hard things. And this part of his brain is expanded so much to which everything is just like easy for him. There's zero resistance behind doing whatever it is that he tells himself that he wants to do or needs to do. So yeah, I think I might be able to find that study somewhere, or that video, and I'll put it at the top of the description as well. But both of those videos, incredibly valuable. But yeah, circling back onto my first point, it's basically just doing the things that bring you money. And I know a lot of people are kind of starting, if you're watching these videos, you might be starting from zero. And what I'll tell you is this: don't sit there and like, don't sit there like doing jack shit, right? Doing the things they're not going to bring you money. Do the things that aren't going to bring you money, like spending 8 hours on your website, perfecting this, doing whatever on the back end before you actually start outreach. Because what that's not going to make you money. The thing that makes you money is outreach. The thing that makes you money is getting yourself in front of other people and marketing. And for you to sit there deciding whether to write a sentence like this or a sentence like this is going to do nothing to your profit. So instead of doing that, get a reasonably good website. Don't spend all day doing it, and then decide on a name, and don't spend all fucking day deciding on a name either. Just fucking choose one and go for it, and then take action. Start your outreach, and you can work your way as you go along, because that's how you learn. And that's why Andrew Tate's so against. I've said his name. Fuck, my video's getting flagged. Yeah. That's why he's so against reading, because he feels like the best way to learn is to take action, which I wouldn't disagree with, but there's so much value in books that I think it's just, it would be kind of naive not to go and read them. But yeah, you just need to take action, really, really and truly. And a lot of you might still be lying to yourself saying, oh no, I want to do this, oh Chili's wrong, Ollie Miller's wrong, I need to do this, oh no, I need to do this. Just fucking do it. Just fucking start, man. Simple as that. You're going to learn as you go. And take risks, because you're not going to be alive forever, and you're also at an age right now which you can take risks, as opposed to getting to the age of 40 years old, having 3 kids and a wife that you've got to provide for and pay for and give time to. Right now you've got nothing to worry about, really. Yes, your problems feel like the biggest things in the world right now, but on the whole, I mean, if everything went to zero right now, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to be sat with your parents, and that's kind of that. And you work your way up from there. So do it now, while you have the time to do so, and don't think that you have all the time in the world, because you don't. And just kind of go from there. So yeah, the thing, I'll say this about books. Last thing I'll say, the thing with books is it's people who have specialized. I've said this in a video before. People that have specialized in a specific topic, whether it be marketing, whether it be I'm just going to look at books now. Psychology. Entrepreneurship, negotiation, psychology again, just everything within their niche. What they've spent their life's work doing, they've then summarized into a book of 200, 300, 400 words. You then go and read that in however long it takes you. It shouldn't take you that long, but I mean, if you haven't read a book for years, then of course there's going to be a lot of resistance around doing it. So just read it, because time flies as soon as you actually start reading. You're like, oh, actually this isn't that bad. Shit, this is actually all right. So just do that, and when you get there, then and actually reading the book, you're gonna learn so much, man. So much. Just pick books that are a topic of your interest. If you pick books that are just recommended, but not necessarily something you're into, then you're going to most likely just lose motivation. I got stuck in this hole myself, and I thought, okay, this book looks productive. I'll read this. I might learn a thing or two from this. But when that's fine when you get into the habit of reading. But before you start reading, you need to go for books that interest you, on topics that interest you, rather than ones that you think are going to give you the most value, because you're not going to read them. But go for the ones that give you the most value, and then you can expand from that. But build the habit first. Start small. Everything just kind of ties down to that. Start small and build the habit, and then build on that. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to read 3 hours a day. You know, I've watched this video from Ollie Miller on YouTube. You know, I'm going to start reading 3 hours a day every day now. It's not going to work. You're not going to stick to that, right? You start small. Just say, I'm going to read 5 pages, 10 pages a day. You get in the habit of sitting down and reading, and you can just build on that, because once you make it easy for you to just sit down and read, you can expand on that as you go, as time goes on. So, yeah, I think I've kind of gone over everything there. I've been talking. I don't know how I managed to make these videos so long, because I've been doing this for 86 days now, and my videos are still, like, I'm still able to talk for this long. But yeah, I mean, that's the end of the video for tonight. I wish you all the best, and I can't thank you all enough for your support. So I'll see you tomorrow night for day 87, and just shift your mentality and realize that there's nothing stopping you from doing whatever it is that you want to do, other than your limiting beliefs. So open your mind up to that, and propel yourself forward, because there's nothing holding you back from doing anything, man. It's just you. You're the only person holding you back. It's you against you, and you got to win that fucking war. I'll end the video on that. Thanks for watching, boys. See you tomorrow night. Appreciate you. Bye.